Appamada and its programs are supported by your generosity, and your generosity and support makes such a difference. You can find a link for contributions on the website at appamada.org. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. For joining us online. Welcome. Beautiful morning here in Austin. It's just so wonderful to be sitting here in Zendo again and see all of you here. What a gift. You're going to draw. Yeah. So we're going to begin our program. I just wanted to greet you and then seems like a small thing. Okay. Finish it. Stand. And then you're going to step forward one at a time to start, and you're going to offer 2 consents. Three bows. Evoking the presence and compassion of our ancestors. We think that we are Buddha. We enter Buddha's way. Homage to all Buddhas in the 10 directions. Homage to the complete Dharma in the 10 directions. Homage to the endless Sangha in 10 directions. Homage to our first teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Homage to the single being succession of bodhisattvas and ancestors. Homage to Eihei Dogen Zenji. Homage to Shogaku Shunryu Daisho. Homage to Zenke Blanche Hartman Daishi. Homage to Joko Beck Daishi. May their presence and compassion sustain us now. Let us recite the names of the Buddha. Vajrojana Buddha, pure Dharma Kaya, Lochana Buddha, complete Sambhogakaya, Shakyamuni Buddha, Nirmanakaya, Maitreya Buddha, of future birth, all Buddhas throughout space and time, lotus of the Buddhist Dharma, Mahayana Sutra, Manjushri Bodhisattva, great wisdom, Samantabhadra Honored Ones, Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Mahaprajna, Paramita. So, welcome to Appamada's formal Bodhisattva initiation ceremony, commonly known as Jukai in the Japanese tradition. The ceremony of receiving the Buddhist precepts and taking up the way of the Bodhisattva, one who is dedicated to the liberation of all beings from suffering. In Japanese Zen tradition, as I said, the ceremony is known as Jukai, and it is the formal taking of precepts. I need to say a few words of introduction here. At the very, very beginning, first of all, this ceremony is a tribute to Blanche Hartman, who is Flint's root teacher. And as you know, Flint received Dharma transmission this past week at my place in Wilmette. So she instructed, encouraged, and hardened so many followers of this path of profound vow and heartfelt aspiration. She was a great champion of the sowing of the Rakusu. And she herself completed many Rakusus for students who were not able to complete them themselves. A devoted sewing teacher. So the Japanese term for the full Buddhist robe, you see me grappling with, is kesa or okesa, and this smaller version that you see members of the Sangha wearing was originally created in China for travel and work in the fields. It's called a rakusu. The practice of sewing Buddha's robe was brought to Japan from China by a Heidogen. He was so captivated by the robes that the monks were wearing. And he was the founder of the Soto Zen school in the 1200s. So it had disappeared from Zen practice for many generations when Sawaki Kodo and Hashimoto Eko revived this ancient tradition in the 1930s. So it had stopped being practiced until then. And they encouraged sincere disciples to retain to it, to engage it. So in turn, Eishin Yoshida Roshi came from Japan to teach those at the San Francisco Zen Center this excellent practice. Kasai Joshin-san then transmitted it to Blanche. At Appamada, sewing Buddha's robe is one of the offerings, as our inquiry intensives and classes, for those who would like to explore this traditional practice. It's not a special badge or marker of status or role. There are many stories and commentaries on the significance of Buddha's robe. In the Shobogenzo, Dogen wrote, "You should know that a kesa is what all Buddhas respect and take refuge in. It is the Buddha body, the Buddha mind. It is called the clothing of emancipation, the robe of the field of happiness, the robe of no form, the unsurpassable robe, the robe of patience, the Tathagata's robe, the robe of great love and great compassion, the robe as victorious banner, and the robe of supreme, penetrating, perfect enlightenment. You should indeed receive it with utmost respect." There is also a famous koan about sewing the robe. When Zen Master Somitsu was sewing, Master Tozan asked, "What are you doing?" Master Somitsu said, "I am sewing." Master Tozan said, "How is your sewing?" Master Somitsu said, "In sewing, almost every stitch is the same." Master Tozan said, "Even though we've been traveling together for 20 years, is this all you can say? Doesn't anything else come into it?" Master Somitsu said, "What do you think, Acharya?" And Master Tozan said, "The whole earth seems to burst into flames." So Daiichi Soke captures the experience of wearing Buddha's robe. "I'm happy in my kesa. Calmly I possess the universe. I stay or leave as it wishes. The pure breeze drives the light clouds." And contemporary teacher Shosan Victoria Austin, who was with us in Wilmette for the Dharma transmission, says, "We can discuss the robe as a thing, but the main merit of it is as a practice. It's actually, when we practice, we wear a garment that's not made according to the dictates of fashion, but because it was passed down to us, warm hand to warm hand, generation to generation, from the time of the Buddha until now. That's the function of the clothing for us. And that's the spirit in which we accept it and wear it. We do have to treat these clothes with the utmost respect and treat them like the body of practice, because that's what it is for us. So these good disciples of Buddha began their journey of sewing Buddha's robe with a study that introduced the history of Buddha's robe, the practice of sewing, and the life of the precept vows. Week after week, they met on Sunday afternoons, and sometimes not, with this patient effort, stitch by stitch. They completed their work under the guidance of Anne Lipscomb through the global pandemic as best they could. Long delayed, long deferred, few opportunities to get together, and still they persevered. As Anne Lamott put it, you start wherever you can. You see a great need, so you thread a needle, you tie a knot in your thread. You find one place in the cloth through which to take one stitch, one simple stitch, nothing fancy, just one that's strong and true. And so we turn to the formal ceremony and honor the thread of the teachings and Zen ancestors that stitch us together, from the Buddha right down to this present moment. Walking the path of the Bodhisattva accomplished through renunciation. All the Buddha ancestors of the Bodhisattva precept lineage have practiced and are still practicing renunciation of all attachments. Renunciation is an unsurpassable way of harmonizing body and mind with the Buddha way. When we relinquish attachments, we are free. We are Buddha. The meaning of the Bodhisattva precepts is in living them. To sustain and confirm the practice based on these precepts, we will now give you Buddha's name and robe to clothe you throughout this life and in times to come. This will be your Dharma name, family, and clothing. So, your Buddhist serene name is Soshi. So means natural, oneself, unadulterated, uncontaminated. And Shi means heart, mind, whole being. This is the name of one of our female Zen ancestors. I give to you. Your Buddhist serene name is Doshi. Do means the way or the path, as you know, same word as Tao. And Shi, heart, mind, whole being. This is the name of one of our male Zen ancestors. I give it to you. Lord Shi is also in both Flint's Dharma name and my Dharma name. Jigen Koshi and Wu Shi Koma. Now, so remove it from the sleeve, put the sleeve next to you. you're going to stay together 3 times.
O Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, please concentrate your hearts on me. I am Shoshin Makriti, Buddha's disciple. Receive this robe of 5 panels, each panel made from one long and one short piece. I will wear this robe of Buddha with the mind and body of its sacred meaning. O Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, please concentrate your hearts on me. I am Shoshin Makriti, Buddha's disciple. Receive this robe of 5 panels, each panel made from one long and one short piece. I will wear this robe of Buddha with the mind and body of its sacred meaning. O Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, please concentrate your hearts on me. I am Shoshin Makriti, Buddha's disciple. Receive this robe of 5 panels, each panel made from one long and one short piece. I will wear this robe of Buddha with the mind and body of its sacred meaning.
Now remove it from the envelope.
Vast is the road of liberation, a formless field of benefaction, where in the universal teaching I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all beings. Vast is the road of liberation, a formless field of benefaction, where in the universal teaching I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all beings. Vast is the road of liberation, a formless field of benefaction, where in the universal teaching I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all beings.
Do one full bow. And remember, you're going to hold your rocks as you bow enough so that it doesn't fall onto the neck. All my ancient twisted karma, from beginningless greed, hate, and delusion, born through body, speech, and mind, I now fully allow all our ancient twisted karma, from beginningless greed, hate, and delusion, born through body, speech, and mind, I fully avow all my ancient twisted karma, from beginningless greed, hate, and delusion, born through body, speech, and mind, all being now fully aroused. Pure as the moon in the night sky, sentient and insentient beings delight. You have gone beyond the karma of body, speech, and mind, and have been freed from greed, hate, and delusion. From now on, even after realizing Buddhahood, will you continue this truthful practice?
Yes, I will.
From now on, even after realizing Buddhahood, will you continue this faithful, truthful practice?
Yes, I will.
From now on, and even after receiving Buddhahood, will you continue this truthful practice?
Yes, I will.
You're going to come up one at a time and Jukai, close to me. We have purified our mind and body. Now you may again receive the path of the precepts, the three treasures of kindness, which are the fruition and beauty of human life. Today you are born into the family of Buddhas. You are now a child of the Buddhas. Will you receive these precepts?
Yes, I will.
Will you receive these precepts?
Yes, I will.
Will you receive these precepts?
Yes, I will.
I take refuge in Buddha.
I take refuge in Buddha.
I take refuge in Dharma.
I take refuge in Dharma.
I take refuge in Sangha.
I take refuge in Sangha.
We take refuge in Buddha.
We take refuge in Buddha.
Immersing body and mind deeply in the way.
Immersing body and mind deeply in the way.
Awakening true mind.
Awakening true mind.
We take refuge in Dharma.
We take refuge in Dharma.
Entering deeply the merciful ocean of Buddha's way.
Entering deeply the merciful ocean of Buddha's way.
We take refuge in Sangha.
We take refuge in Sangha.
Bringing harmony to everyone, free from hindrance.
Bringing harmony to everyone, free from hindrance.
Now all being has completely taken refuge in Buddha.
Now all being has completely taken refuge in Buddha.
Now all being has completely taken refuge in Dharma.
Now all being has completely taken refuge in Dharma.
Now all being has completely taken refuge in Sangha.
Now all being has completely taken refuge in Sangha.
You have returned to your original nature, free from attachment and limited ways. From now on, awakening is your teacher. Buddha is your teacher. All beings are your teacher. Do not be fooled any longer. This is the path of mercy for all existence. O good disciples of Buddha, from now on, and even after realizing Buddhahood, will you follow this compassionate path of the three treasures that I have just passed to you?
Yes, I will.
From now on, and even after realizing Buddhahood, will you follow this compassionate path of the three treasures I have just passed to you?
Yes, I will.
From now on, and even after realizing Buddhahood, will you follow this compassionate path of the three treasures that I have just passed to you?
Yes, I will.
Now will you receive the three pure precepts?
Yes, I will.
Now will you receive the three pure precepts?
Yes, I will.
Now will you receive the three pure precepts?
Yes, I will.
I vow to refrain from all harmony.
I vow to refrain from all harmony.
I vow to do all that is good.
I vow to do all that is good.
I vow to clarify the mind for the benefit of all beings.
I vow to clarify the mind for the benefit of all beings.
O good disciples of Buddha, abiding in these three pure precepts from now on, and even after realizing Buddhahood, will you continuously observe them?
Yes, I will.
Abiding in these three pure precepts from now on, and even after realizing Buddhahood, Will you continuously observe them?
Yes, I will.
Abiding in these three pure precepts. From now on, and even after realizing Buddhahood, will you continuously observe them?
Yes, I will.
Now will you receive the 10 grave precepts?
Yes, I will.
Now will you receive the 10 grave precepts?
Yes, I will.
Now will you receive the 10 grave precepts?
Yes, I will.
I vow not to kill or harm that which is living.
I vow not to kill or harm that which is living.
I vow not to steal or take what is not freely given.
I vow not to steal or take what is not freely given.
I vow not to misuse sexuality or manipulate others seductively.
I vow not to misuse sexuality or manipulate others seductively.
I vow not to lie and to refrain from deception.
I vow not to lie and to refrain from deception.
I vow not to intoxicate mind or body of self or others.
I vow not to intoxicate mind or body of self or others.
I vow not to slander or allow silence to harm others.
I vow not to slander or allow silence to harm others.
I vow not to praise self at the expense of others.
I vow not to praise self at the expense of others.
I vow not to grasp what I have or be envious of what I don't.
I vow not to grasp what I have or be envious of what I don't.
I vow not to harbor anger or ill will or seek vengeance or retribution.
I vow not to harbor anger or ill will or
Seek
vengeance
or retribution.
I vow not to disparage the three treasures.
I vow not to disparage the three treasures.
O good disciples of Buddha, abiding according to these 10 grave precepts from now on, and even after realizing Buddhahood, will you continuously observe them?
Yes, I will.
Abiding according to these 10 grave precepts from now on, and even after realizing Buddhahood, will you continuously observe them?
Yes, I will.
Abiding according to these 10 grave precepts from now on, and even after realizing Buddhahood, will you continuously observe them?
Yes, I will.
Now receive the lineage documents of our ancestors. There are 3 documents: the traditional lineage of male ancestors, the official lineage of Soto Zen female ancestors, and your personal lineage of spiritual ancestors. The lineage documents are called Kachimiyaku. At this moment, your birth has become fruitful, You have realized your human life. You have received Buddha's precepts, and thus all beings have entered Buddhahood. With your new Dharma name and new clothing, with the lineage of Buddha's precepts, you are born into the family of Buddhas. From now on, may you forthrightly perform the actions befitting your new family and live a life of great equanimity, free from greed, aggression, and prejudice. In our community, we have established a new tradition of offering the Rakasu to the Sangha, that anyone who has taken the precepts may wear for service and ceremonies. In this way, we relinquish our attachment even to these cherished robes which we have sewn with love and devotion. They will be worn by Sangha members for 1 year, becoming permeated with the sincere practice of the whole Sangha. And then they will be returned to their original creators. Anyone who has taken the precepts anywhere is welcome to take one of the Rakasus when they come in the morning for sitting. There'll be a little rack of Rakasus. Welcome to take a Rakasu to wear for morning sitting and service. Thank you for your devoted practice. This path of sowing gets you both. Dedicate this service, the merit of this ceremony, to the welfare of all beings. May all realize complete, perfect enlightenment. Like a cloud in an endless sky, like a lotus in muddy water, we live in the pure mind of Buddha. Like a cloud in an endless sky, like a lotus in muddy water, we live in the pure mind of Buddha. Like a cloud in an endless sky, like a lotus in muddy water, we live in the pure mind of Buddha. Many of them would stand beside you. And 3 dots. Now you're going to do one standing bow. And you're going to say thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm not going to say a lot. My heart is full of feeling of congratulations and delight that we have a chance to do this together. Finally, after all this time, you have this devoted practice. You've done such beautiful work with the flowers. You've done such supportive work with Buddhist Action Now and on social justice. And so I think the contribution that you've made to the Sangha and just through the sincere practice of sewing is so inspiring and so heartfelt. And it means a lot to me to be here after all this time, and be able to celebrate this with you. It's such a joyful occasion. People take the precepts and step into this path. So thank you for your willingness to persevere in spite of all of the obstacles and thwarting and not being able to be together, and to Anne for helping me with all of the sewing that's involved. And we have more people who are sewing, so we'll be doing this again in October probably. So I'm so delighted and so happy for you. I know this represents your sincere aspiration and your deep devotion to it. So we all benefit from that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thus we vow to the time that we're going to do 3 bellows, and I'm going to read a vow on that. All Buddha's 10 directions 3 times. All Buddha's Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Mahaprajna, Paramita.
Sangha is invited to a informal Sangha brunch at Central Market. Now,